Wild lettuce is known for its calming, relaxing, and pain relieving effects. It's also really good for respiratory health and relieving coughs. Come on over and learn some more. Hey everybody, it's Rachel with the Herbalist Garden. How are you today? I'm pretty good. In the office again. It's just gonna happen. Um, just gonna happen when it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm gonna stay to a schedule, but occasionally I'll have dark weeks. Anyways, yeah, I wasn't here for like 2 weeks. One week? I don't know. I gotta figure it out. Been going through a lot recently, and it's all for the better. Very good. Very good. So we're gonna talk about wild lettuce today. So it's been on my mind to do this one for quite some time. But it's so specific about what it does. I haven't really put much into it only because it's not going to be a long video. Although it might be. Still trying to keep it at a certain time limit. Anyway, um wild lettuce includes several herbaceous biennial weeds. Just like common garden lettuce, they're in the Lactuca genus, the sunflower, daisies, Aristaceae. That's in that family. So if you're allergic to them, you're going to be allergic to this. Don't be allergic to it because it's helpful. 12 of these wild lettuce species are native to North America. Oh, pause. My disclaimer, I am an herbalist. I am not a doctor. Do your research. Thank you very much. Super important. I'll be reading a lot of from the screen over here because it has some research studies and because my brain doesn't remember things like that. So, um, yes, it's informational. A little bit of goofy and quirky because that's just me. We'll get there. Um, so there's several species also native to Europe and Asia. We have Lactuca quincina, which is bitter lettuce. No, it doesn't say what that one is. Anyways, we have bitter lettuce, which is Lactuca virosa, and we have prickly lettuce, which is Lactuca cereola. And then we have the Lactuca quercina as well. But all these work the same. If somebody just says it's wild lettuce, guess what? It's probably one of those species. Will you be able to figure it out? If you can, great. If you can't, it still all works the same. So why not? Why does it bother? It does make identification of it sometimes a little iffy. The identification I find is that, well, it's got, not all of them have the ribbing, not all of them are prickly, kind of sort of ish, but it's how the leaf connects to the actual stem itself. It like wraps around it. Like imagine you got a pole, like you're climbing the pole in gym class. When we hit a rope, same difference, and your legs wrapped around it. That's how the leaf is connected to the stem on wild lettuce. So, health benefits of wild lettuce are largely derived from its active ingredients, as we would know, which usually it includes flavonoids, coumarins, antioxidants. Lactucarium is the most notable ingredient, and that is the milky sap that is extracted for its analgesic properties. It's a natural depressant. However, you should take caution with plants in any form. We know this. It is legal to grow since the 1970s. Did you know that it was illegal to grow wild lettuce for up until the 70s? Isn't that crazy? So it's legal to grow, sell, and own in the US now. So, there's a laundry list of things that it does. It prevents whooping cough. It improves sleep patterns and prevents insomnia, stops pain and tension in the muscles, supports respiratory health by treating asthma symptoms, eliminates headaches and migraines, soothes restlessness and excitability in children, minimize painful menstrual periods, calm excessive drive in men and women, so nymphomania, uh, lower inflammation and joint pain, alleviate poor circulation and improve energy levels, minimize swollen genitalia in men, and euphoric and sedative in nature. It also can treat urinary tract problems. So, whether it does all that or not, it's up to your own personal makeup because something that works for me may not work for you and vice versa. So, and some of them it has to do with dosage, some of it has to do with pharmaceuticals that you take, some of it has to do with just general body chemistry in general. None of us are made the same. Things do not work the same in everybody. They don't. It's not cookie cutters. Plants are not cookie cutters. That's why there's so many that do so many things. Like, because maybe you can't have wild lettuce, but you can have calendula. Why not? Just things to think about. There's a lot of options out there. So the dried leaves gain particular appreciation for like herbal smoking mixtures. Um, Users valued the mild, calming smoke that released tension after long days. And the leaves burn smoothly and has an earthy flavor. Um, really good for a wind down ritual. So yes, you can smoke this. You just roll the leaf up, light on fire, boom. So it's also really good if you're mixing it with chamomile or lavender. But that's if you want to do that. There's also another species. So we're going to talk about the different species real quick. Lactuca virosa is the species most often linked with lactucarium and lettuce opium. So they call it the opium of the world. Of lettuce? Whatever. It produces the milky latex that is historically dried and used in traditional preparations. So, if you use too much of it, it is toxic. Moderation. Um, there is Lactica cereola, which is prickly lettuce or the wild lettuce as we call it, and it is distributed and considered an invasive weed in many places. It is mostly a cultivated lettuce used for they use it for like the botany and the ecology of wild lettuce. Um, but apparently it's not as strong as the Lactica virosa. We gotta go Lactica condensus, which is just basically Canadian wild lettuce. And it's been studied in animal research and has anti-inflammatory properties. So there's also Lactica sativa, and that is usually the cultivated one. Um, and people usually eat that in salads. To be able to see the difference between them, you have to research that yourself. Please do your own research again. Okay, so hmm. Sometimes the green stem also has like purple blotches or spots on it. And when it's dried, it resembles opium, a pain relieving agent extracted from unripe seed pods of the opium poppy. And we all know that that is a good um, pain reliever. Wild opium, I guess that's what they call it sometimes. Back in 1814, research studies showed that it was used to treat and prevent whooping cough because it works so good on the respiratory system. You can make tinctures, powders, oils, pills. People use them for all the kind of stuff. Um, Treating anxiety, breathing issues, poor sleep, joint pain. The components of that provide pain relief are the components are called lactones. They act on the central nervous system and calm those nerves, which also cause pain sensations. Because if anybody has ever had like actual clinically diagnosed severe depression, it gets into your it gets into your cells and it causes pain. Um, yeah, the opium lettuce concept is a misnomer. While it can relieve pain, it doesn't have the hardcore sedative effects of opium. It's comparable to like a high dosage of ibuprofen without all the side effects. So you can't also like opium specifically. You can develop a an addiction or and develop a tolerance to it. Wild lettuce you cannot. So lactucarium contains lactucin or lactucopicrin, lactucopicrin. These bitter substances act on the central nervous system for providing pain relieving and sedative effects. These compounds are sesquiterpene lactones. Um, they're specifically, oh, wait, I said calendula, but that's part of the same family. I thought about that. But that's also part of the same family as regular lettuce, like any of the others. Calendula, chicory, which we talked about last week. Sesquiterpene lactones make up a larger part of the lactucarium secretly secreted by wild lettuce. It's talked about a lot on homeopathic websites, but it's best to, unless you have an allergy, it's best to just try it on yourself because I personally have tinctures of it and I don't feel like it works, in my opinion, on my body, my chemistry. It might work on yours. I've known people to take a bite out of the whole leaf. Tastes gross, by the way. Super bitter. But if you like bitter, then go for it. And they are like, oh, they feel all like euphoric and everything. And I'm like, doesn't do anything for me. I mean, granted, I haven't like upped to the dose each time because usually I take it and I forget about it. Take it and forget about it. I probably should actually like sit down and like document my findings and stuff like that. But I get so distracted. So distracted. Okay, I have my food over here. They'll finish after I'm done. So we know that the sesquiterpenes in the Asteraceae family plants reduce inflammation. But guess what? All plants reduce inflammation because they're, how do I say that? They're not inflammation inducing. That's just what they are. They're just, if you're eating something healthy, it's not going to cause inflammation. Inflammation is caused by things that are unhealthy, unnatural, synthetic, um, pain, disease. There's a lot of things that can cause inflammation, and not all inflammation is bad. Let me remind you of that. Not all inflammation is bad because oftentimes, like if we break something, the area is going to swell because the swelling tells the brain, "Hey, send more information here." So they're sending all the The brain is sending all the fluids there to protect the area so that it doesn't get damaged further. It's chronic inflammation that's damaging for you. So if like you have swollen leg because you hurt yourself, that's okay. Just don't let it last forever. Treat it. But not like as in, oh my gosh, I'm going to die from this. It's not chronic. It's fine. Anyway, sesquiterpenes offer antioxidant, antibacterial, anti-tumor properties. So chamomile, member of the Asteraceae family, contains camozuline. It's a sesquiterpene that demonstrates strong antioxidant properties. Feverfew is also in the Asteraceae family, and it has parthenolide, which exhibited growth or inhibited growth in leukemia cells in like older test tube studies. So it is anti-inflammatory, as we just talked about. One animal study using Lactuca canadensis, the Canadian mild lettuce leaf extract, found that anti-inflammatory activity worked on the experimental model. These suggest that some wild lettuce species may contain compounds that affect inflammation. However, the evidence is still early. It's not early. They've been studying these for years. They just don't want to like admit it. Anyway, antioxidants. We talked about the sesquiterpenes. We talked about the Lactuca virosa supplements. They have a lot of extra antioxidants in them. I mean, all of them have all of it in there, but just some's going to be certain species, varieties are going to have stronger compounds than other ones, and it doesn't mean we can't use all of them. So wild lettuce it is. It also has sedating properties. It's traditionally used as a natural sleep aid. In an animal study, a crude preparation of wild lettuce helped sedate and relax mice. The extract that had the most potent effect from the latex was 1-year-old plants. So, and we'll get to that. Never mind. Another trial, researchers found that lactucin and lactucopicrin slow brain activity in mice. These relaxing effects help improve sleep quality. The phytochemicals are present in Lactuca virosa specifically, and they're also in the chicory leaves and roots. Researchers discovered that latex extracted from 3 different Lactuca species varieties had significant sedative effects on mice. The virosa was not used in that study. But the phytochemicals may affect sleep due to their affinity for the GABA mechanism. Another study using seed and leaf extracts from sativa, the Lactuca sativa, found that the extracts had sleep potentiating activity. Lactucin was believed to exhibit the most potent sedative properties and the greatest effect on sleep duration. In the Eclectic Materia Medica in 1922, a traditional herbal text, Dr. Felter mentions that wild lettuce has calmative and hypnotic effects. Did you know hypnotic only means like sleep inducing? Put your brain into a sleep state. Anyway, highly esteemed herbalist Christopher Hobbs mentions that wild lettuce is a mild sedative and nervine. Um, it's got pain relieving properties. So, analgesic. Animal trial found that various wild lettuce extracts have analgesic properties. In the study, mice were given 30 milligrams of extract before be- being subject to a hot plate test. These poor animals. The extract from the aerial parts prolonged the onset of pain response by 119.7%, and the extract from the roots prolonged the onset of pain response by 103.3%. In a study on lactucin and lactucopicrin, it mentions that wild lettuce supports pain relief for those with dysmenorrhea, period cramps, rheumatism, muscle pains, and colic pains. It's antitussive. In 1814, a German physician documented several medical accounts of wild lettuce. He described the herb as being highly effective in reducing the spasmodic effects of the cough on the diaphragm. After administration, the cough was less violent and therefore prevented vomiting. Christopher Hobbs described wild lettuce as a useful herb for cough medicine. Wild lettuce helps relax the bronchioles and helps relieve coughing. Herbalist David Hoffman mentions that Lactuca virosa can be holistically helpful for those with whooping cough and any dry, irritating cough. In the 1930s, a pharmaceutical company isolated lactucarium from wild lettuce, that's the sap that's inside it, and created an antitussive drug called lactucil. There was a 0.2 grams of both lactucin and lactucopicrin in the drug. Supported people with tuberculosis and emphysema. So when we harvest it, it is best to harvest it when it is an adult, right after the flowering period. That is between June and August. Right now, mine are flowering because when I moved into the place that I'm in now, there were tons, like probably like 6 plants out front, just growing as weeds. And I let them stay. They weren't very big when I first moved in. They are now. They're probably about 6 feet tall. They're definitely taller than me. So as soon as they're done flowering, snatching that whole plant up, roots and all, because it doesn't need to be there. And I'm sure it's already dropped a whole bunch of seeds from other areas because there's a ton of it. But anyways, the milky sap from the stem is most potent part of the lettuce. It's you basically cut the stalks, let the sap ooze out, and let it dry. And the dried sap would be then collected. Um, it's You can eat the fresh leaves. They are nutritious but extremely bitter. Um, but you won't get a high dosage that way. You have to use the sap in order to get the high dosage. Um, it's a safety class 1, interaction class A. So generally recognized as safe by the FDA. If you're allergic to the Asteraceae family of plants, you're going to be allergic to wild lettuce. If you have too much, you're going to get abdominal pain, fever, chills, low back pain, neck stiffness, headache, hallucinogens, vomiting, coma, death. Don't have too much of it. We're going to go over dosing. Don't have during pregnancy and breastfeeding. That's big. No. So if you're making a tea, I'll put all these here. Add 1 cup of boiling water to 1 to 2 teaspoons of the dried herb, allowed to infuse 10-15 minutes. You can drink 1 cup like 3 times a day. Tincture is 1 to 2 milliliters 3 times a day. Fluid extract, it's 1-to-1 ratio, 0.5 to 4 milliliters 3 times a day. Lactucarium tincture specifically, like it's just the sap, 2 milliliters 3 times a day. Use approximately, if you're smoking it, 0.25 grams of dried leaves. The resin's like 1.5 grams. Yeah. Moderation. It's all about moderation. Everything should be in moderation. Everything. Because you can even drink too much water and like dilute your system and make yourself really sick. Damage your heart. It has been done before. There were like those dumb viral challenges. There was one where people were supposed to drink so much water in a certain amount of time and then they won something, and some girl did it in such a short amount of time without going to the bathroom. She burst her bladder. And there was another person, I think it was another kind of same thing. They did that and they basically diluted their whole entire system, and their renal, they had renal failure. I mean, it's maybe they were unhealthy ahead of time. I don't know, but it's just insane that that kind of stuff can happen. So, I mean, it's pretty finite what wild lettuce can do. It does not seem to work on me. Maybe I'll up the dose next time. I'll try it again. It's not like I was taking that much. It's maybe 0.5 milliliters of a tincture, which it says you're supposed to use more than that. So we'll see. I'll get there. Thanks for coming around. Have you had any experiences with wild lettuce? You'll have to let me know, because I'd love to know if I know anybody personally or even through here that has it work for them. Like I'm allergic to stinging nettle. I can sit there and grab the whole plant and just be fine. I processed the whole plant last week and it was like, I don't know why I can touch it and other people can't. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for learning with me. I knew that it was a pain reliever, and I knew that it was anti-inflammatory because it's a plant. I knew it had antioxidants because it's a plant. I did not know about its antitussive properties, so that's really cool. I knew about its sedative properties, because anything that's painkiller is more than likely also going to be a sedative. Not 100% on that, but it's a close enough comparison. Go check it out over on the Herbalist Garden on Facebook. People have been talking about wild lettuce on there because it's in bloom and almost ready to harvest right now. So yeah, go check that out. We've got 152K. I'm enjoying it. We just keep growing. And check out all the other videos over here on YouTube. I'm sure that there's suggestions that you can at least find informationally interesting. I would like to do some more cooking videos with you guys. So I'll probably be not cooking, but like preparing and processing herbs, basically, or making something herb related from scratch. Oh, we'll talk about it. We'll get there. I've got all these ideas. I just got to make them happen. My setup is in process. That's kind of what I've been waiting on. Because since I moved, I don't necessarily know where everything is. I'm finding it, though. It took me 2 weeks to find one of my toothbrushes. I had others, obviously. They're all good. Anyways, thank you so much for learning with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.